Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, let's get real for a second. How many times have you bent over backward, twisted yourself into knots, and put your own happiness on the back burner just to keep a man happy? And where did it get you? Heartbroken, frustrated, and asking yourself, what did I do wrong? Well, today I'm here to tell you, it's not about what you did wrong. It's about what you should an EVR do in the first place. I'm talking about the 7 things no woman should ever do for a man. Things that steal your peace, rob your confidence, and make you forget just how valuable you are. If you've ever felt like you're giving 100% and getting 10% back, this is for you. Stick around, because once you know these 7 things, you'll never let a man play with your worth again. How does that sound? Would you like me to continue with the full speech? Absolutely. Here's an expanded version of the first keynote. Never give up your passions, goals, or who you are just to fit his idea of a perfect partner. If he can't love you for who you are, he doesn't deserve you. Too often, women find themselves changing who they are to make a relationship work. Maybe it starts small, skipping a girl's night out to avoid an argument, laughing off dismissive comments, or putting personal dreams on hold to prioritize the relationship. These compromises can feel harmless at first, but over time, they chip away at your true self. You might find yourself becoming someone you barely recognize, living a life that feels less and less like your own. There's a dangerous belief floating around that a good woman sacrifices everything for her man, her time, her goals, even her personality. But let me tell you, any relationship that demands you shrink yourself to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be is a relationship unworthy of your time. Love is supposed to lift you up, not limit you. The right partner will encourage you to chase your dreams, not clip your wings. The problem arises when we confuse love with sacrifice. Love doesn't mean abandoning your career ambitions because he feels threatened by your success. It doesn't mean giving up your hobbies or passions because he doesn't share the same interests. It doesn't mean molding yourself into what he wants so he'll stick around. That's not love. That's control. True love celebrates individuality. The right person will appreciate the things that make you unique, your quirks, your interests, your ambitions. He'll be proud of your drive and determination. He won't ask you to dim your light just so he can shine brighter. In fact, he'll want to stand beside you, supporting your journey and achieving greatness together. Yet, too many women fall into the trap of trying to be the perfect woman. You start acting the way you think he wants you to act, saying what you think he wants to hear, and pretending to be interested in things just to impress him. Before you know it, you're living someone else's life. You've compromised so much that you can't even remember what truly makes you happy. Losing your identity doesn't just hurt you, it damages the relationship too. When you're not being your true self, the connection you're building is based on a facade. You end up feeling unfulfilled and resentful because you're suppressing who you really are. And he doesn't get to know the real you, the woman with dreams, passions, and a vibrant personality. The relationship becomes a lie, and that lie eventually crumbles. It's okay to compromise in a relationship. Healthy relationships require give and take. But there's a difference between compromise and self-sacrifice. You can find common ground without losing yourself. You can make space for each other's needs and wants without erasing your own. It's also important to understand that if a man truly cares about you, he won't want you to give up the things that make you happy. He won't ask you to stop pursuing your career, abandon your dreams, or neglect your passions. He'll recognize that a fulfilled, confident, and happy woman brings more to the table than one who's lost herself trying to please him. If he can't handle your strength, ambition, and independence, then he's not the right man for you. The right man will see your goals and dreams as a blessing, not a threat. He'll support your journey, cheer you on, and celebrate your wins, because your success doesn't take away from his, it adds to it. Remember, a relationship should be a partnership. Two whole people coming together, not one person completing the other. You're not half of a whole. You're already complete. A man should complement your life, not complete it. Don't lose yourself to keep him. Be the woman who knows her worth, stays true to herself, and never compromises her identity for anyone. The right man will appreciate you for who you are, and he'll never ask you to be anything less. So don't trade your dreams for a relationship. Don't give up what makes you unique just to fit into someone else's world. If he can't love the real you, flaws and all, then he doesn't deserve you. Stay true to yourself, because the right man won't need you to change. He'll love you exactly as you are. Never beg for love or attention. If you have to chase him, you'll spend the whole relationship running. A real man doesn't make you beg for his time or affection. Love is meant to be a two-way street. It should flow naturally, without force, desperation, or manipulation. But so many women find themselves caught in the exhausting cycle of chasing a man's love, sending texts that go unanswered, bending over backward to get a moment of his time, and constantly seeking reassurance. This cycle often starts subtly. Maybe you're always the one initiating conversations, planning dates, or making sacrifices to fit into his world. You keep hoping he'll finally notice your efforts, appreciate your love, and treat you the way you deserve. But instead, you end up feeling overlooked, undervalued, and frustrated. The truth is, if you have to beg a man for love, time, or attention, you'll never feel secure. You'll always question his feelings, doubt your worth, and second, guess your place in his life. Love that needs to be chased is not love. It's validation you're seeking from someone who doesn't see your true value. A man who truly cares about you won't make you question where you stand. He won't have you competing for his attention or scrambling for scraps of affection. He'll make sure you feel cherished, valued, and seen. When a woman starts begging for love, she slowly loses her power. The more you chase, the more he pulls away. Men respond to confidence, self-respect, and independence, not desperation. If you make it clear that you're willing to accept breadcrumbs, that's exactly what you'll get. You might even convince yourself that something is better than nothing. But in reality, you deserve more, much more. Begging for love strips you of your self-worth. It can make you feel as if you're not good enough, as if you have to constantly prove yourself just to be loved. You might start changing who you are, saying and doing things you never would just to keep his attention. You mold yourself into what you think he wants, agreeing with things you don't believe in, ignoring red flags, and tolerating disrespect, all because you're afraid to lose him. But in the process, you end up losing yourself. It's a painful cycle. The more you beg, the more power he has. The more power he has, the less he respects you. He knows you'll always be there, no matter how poorly he treats you. The more you run after him, the faster he runs away. The more you seek validation from him, the less he values your presence. It's a game you can never win. You deserve a man who chooses you every single day, not one who makes you question his commitment. The right man will be consistent. He won't leave you wondering if he cares. He won't make you compete for his love or force you to chase after his attention. He'll make an effort because he genuinely wants to, not because you begged him to. When a man truly loves you, he'll make time for you. He'll prioritize you. He'll reach out just to hear your voice, make plans because he wants to see you, and make you feel valued without you ever having to ask. Chasing a man doesn't make him stay. It only shows him he doesn't need to work for your love. When you stop begging, something powerful happens. You regain your confidence, your self-respect, and your power. You remind yourself that your worth isn't tied to someone's inconsistent affection. You understand that love should be freely given, not earned through endless effort. You realize that someone who truly values you will show up, invest in you, and appreciate you without needing to be chased. It's time to set a standard for how you deserve to be treated. If a man can't meet it, don't lower it, walk away. Never beg for love or attention. Let a man show you how he truly feels about you. If he's not willing to make the effort, then he's not worthy of your time or energy. There's strength in walking away from someone who doesn't see your worth. There's courage in valuing yourself enough to demand respect, appreciation, and real love. A woman who knows her worth doesn't beg, she attracts. She radiates confidence, self-respect, and grace. And when she stops chasing, the right man will recognize her value and step up. You are not meant to be a chaser. You're meant to be cherished. You deserve a love that's freely given without doubt or hesitation. The right man will make you feel like a priority, not an option. So stop running after someone who won't run after you. Stop chasing what isn't chasing you. Respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that doesn't value your worth. You deserve love, commitment, and genuine affection without ever having to beg for it. The right love doesn't need to be forced. It flows naturally, and it's freely given. The man who truly wants you will make sure you never feel like you have to chase him. He'll be running right beside you every step of the way. Never go against your beliefs or morals just to keep him around. If he truly respects you, he'll respect your boundaries. In the pursuit of love, many women find themselves compromising on values they once held dear. It often starts small, maybe agreeing to something you're uncomfortable with to avoid conflict or silence his complaints. You tell yourself it's not a big deal, that it's just one time, or that love requires sacrifices. But with each compromise, a piece of your integrity is chipped away. The things you once stood firmly against become blurry lines you cross, all in the name of keeping the peace or holding on to the relationship. This is one of the most dangerous traps to fall into. When you sacrifice your beliefs and morals to make a relationship work, you're not just giving up your principles, you're giving away your power, your identity, and your self-respect. You end up living a life that doesn't align with who you truly are, and the cost of this compromise is often far greater than you realize. Love should never demand that you betray yourself. Your values define who you are. They're the core principles that guide your decisions and shape your life. They reflect what you believe in, what you stand for, and what you refuse to tolerate. When you compromise these, you lose touch with yourself. You become a stranger to your own reflection, wondering how you ended up so far from the person you used to be. Far too often, women fall into the mindset that pleasing their partner is the ultimate measure of a successful relationship. You ignore your own discomfort to make him happy. You go along with things that don't sit right with you, convincing yourself that it's a necessary sacrifice for love. But love doesn't ask you to compromise your integrity. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect, where both partners honor each other's values and boundaries. When a man truly respects you, he'll never pressure you to cross lines you've drawn for yourself. He won't push you to do things that go against your beliefs, and he won't punish you with guilt trips or manipulation if you say no. Instead, he'll understand that your principles are a part of what makes you unique, strong, and admirable. He'll honor your boundaries because he knows they matter to you. But if a man tries to convince you that compromising your values is proof of your love, he's not looking for a partner, he's looking for control. It may sound harsh, but manipulation often disguises itself as love. He might say, "Hey, if you loved me, you'd do this for me," or "Why can't you just let this go?" He might make you feel guilty for standing firm, accusing you of being difficult or unloving. These are manipulation tactics, not acts of love. It's crucial to recognize that the right relationship won't force you to compromise what matters to you. The right man will value your beliefs and respect your boundaries, even if he doesn't share the same views. He'll listen to your perspective, appreciate your convictions, and never make you feel like you have to choose between your morals and the relationship. It's not just about saying no to the big things. Sometimes it's the small compromises that erode your integrity over time. Maybe you start hiding parts of yourself to avoid judgment, pretending to be interested in things that don't resonate with you, or staying silent when something bothers you. These compromises can feel insignificant at first, but each one chips away at your confidence and self-respect. You become more focused on keeping him happy than staying true to yourself. This is a dangerous place to be because losing sight of your values makes it harder to recognize yourself. You end up feeling unfulfilled, bitter, and resentful. And even if you manage to hold on to the relationship, you'll always feel a sense of emptiness, a nagging feeling that you abandoned yourself to keep someone else. Real love doesn't force you to make that choice. It allows you to stand firmly in who you are while growing together. It's about supporting each other's beliefs, not undermining them. It's about being proud of each other's convictions, even when they differ. A strong relationship celebrates individuality and never asks you to compromise your character. You deserve a love that honors your boundaries and respects your beliefs. Never let anyone convince you that abandoning your principles is a sign of commitment. A real man won't want a version of you that betrays herself. He'll want the real, authentic you, even if it means facing disagreements. He'll appreciate your strength, not try to weaken it. So stand firm, know your values, protect them, and refuse to let love become an excuse for self-betrayal. The right person will love you for your integrity, not in spite of it. When you stay true to yourself, you attract the kind of love that respects you, celebrates you, and never asks you to change who you are. That's the kind of love worth having, and the only kind of love you should ever accept. Never make excuses for his bad behavior. If he can't take responsibility for his actions, you shouldn't be the one carrying that burden. It's a heartbreaking pattern. A woman falls in love, sees potential in a man, and when things start to go wrong, she convinces herself it's not as bad as it seems. She rationalizes his bad behavior, explains away his flaws, and even takes the blame for things that aren't her fault. Maybe he's distant, unkind, unreliable, or even disrespectful. But instead of calling it out for what it is, she makes excuses. She tells herself, he's just stressed, or he's going through a lot right now. She believes if she's patient enough, understanding enough, and supportive enough, he'll change. But here's the truth. Consistently excusing someone's bad behavior doesn't fix the problem. It enables it. By accepting less than you deserve, you teach him it's okay to treat you poorly. You become a safety net for his mistakes, making it easier for him to continue down the same path. The more excuses you make, the more comfortable he gets, and the more you start believing those excuses yourself. You convince yourself he's a good man just going through a rough patch, but in reality, you're giving him permission to mistreat you. Excusing bad behavior often comes from a place of love, fear, or hope. You love him and want to see the best in him. You fear losing the relationship, so you justify his actions. You hope that if you're understanding enough, he'll recognize your loyalty and change. But this mindset sets you up for disappointment. It's not your job to save a man from his own flaws or carry the weight of his mistakes. Love doesn't mean tolerating disrespect, neglect, or cruelty. Many women feel a sense of responsibility for their partner's happiness. You think, if I just love him harder, he'll change. But love alone can't fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. You can't heal a man who refuses to acknowledge his own wounds. You can't inspire a man to be better if he doesn't believe he needs to change. Making excuses for him doesn't just hurt you, it hurts him too. It allows him to remain stagnant, avoiding the hard work of self-improvement. It's time to recognize when a man's actions don't match his words. If he says he loves you but disrespects you, his actions speak louder. If he apologizes but keeps repeating the same behavior, those apologies are empty. If he promises to change but doesn't, it's not a mistake, it's a decision. The reality is actions reveal true intentions. Words mean nothing without follow-through. Excusing bad behavior also damages your self-esteem. You start to question yourself, wondering if you're overreacting or being unreasonable. You silence your instincts and suppress your feelings. You settle for less and convince yourself it's okay. But deep down, you know something isn't right. You feel the hurt, the disappointment, and the frustration. You begin to resent him, but even more damaging, you begin to resent yourself for staying. It's important to hold people accountable for their actions. A relationship built on excuses and justification can never be healthy or fulfilling. Love isn't supposed to be a constant struggle where you overlook red flags and make excuses just to keep the peace. Real love involves honesty, accountability, and mutual respect. You deserve a partner who takes ownership of his mistakes, learns from them, and actively works to become better. Holding a man accountable doesn't mean being unforgiving or cruel. It means setting boundaries and demanding respect. It's about saying, I deserve better than this, and if you can't meet that standard, I'll walk away. It's about valuing yourself enough to stop making excuses and start making decisions that prioritize your well-being. It's not your responsibility to protect a man from the consequences of his own actions. When you stop making excuses, you force him to face the reality of his behavior. You give him the chance to take responsibility and grow. But even if he doesn't, you free yourself from a toxic cycle. You break the habit of justifying mistreatment and start standing up for yourself. You remember your worth and realize you don't have to settle for less. You deserve a love that lifts you up, not one that drags you down. There's strength in walking away from a man who doesn't treat you right. It takes courage to choose yourself over a toxic relationship. But when you do, you open the door for something real, something healthy and fulfilling. You attract a love that respects you, values you, and meets your standards. Stop making excuses for his behavior. Stop defending the indefensible. If he truly cares, he'll make a change, willingly and consistently. But if he doesn't, it's not your job to wait around hoping he'll become the man you deserve. You can't change him, but you can choose yourself. You can reclaim your power, your peace, and your happiness. You can break the cycle of excuses and demand the love you deserve. The right man won't need excuses. He'll take ownership of his actions, learn from his mistakes, and treat you with the love and respect you deserve. So don't settle for a love that needs excuses. Wait for the love that speaks for itself. Never prioritize his dreams over yours. A healthy relationship should be a partnership, not a one-sided sacrifice. Too often, women fall into the trap of sidelining their own dreams and ambitions for the sake of a relationship. It starts off innocently enough. You want to be supportive, encouraging, and a reliable partner. You cheer him on as he pursues his goals, standing by his side and celebrating his wins. But somewhere along the way, your own dreams take a backseat. You become so focused on his success and happiness that your ambitions are slowly pushed aside, dismissed, or forgotten altogether. This can happen in subtle ways. Maybe you start rearranging your schedule to fit his needs, putting off your own plans. You might downplay your aspirations, telling yourself you'll get to them eventually after he's settled or achieved his goals. You begin to prioritize his career, his dreams, and his future, assuming that once he's where he wants to be, you'll finally have the time and support to chase your own dreams. But that time often never comes, and your goals remain unfulfilled. This dynamic can be incredibly damaging. It breeds resentment, frustration, and self-doubt. You start to feel unimportant, like your dreams don't matter. The sacrifice you made out of love and support starts to feel like a burden, weighing you down. You question your worth and wonder why you don't feel fulfilled. This isn't what a loving relationship should look like. A true partnership is about supporting each other's dreams, not sacrificing one person's happiness for the other. A healthy relationship requires balance, mutual support, respect, and encouragement. Your dreams are just as important as his, and you should never feel guilty for pursuing them. A partner who truly loves and respects you will want to see you thrive. He'll encourage you to follow your passions, even if it means making sacrifices or adjustments. He won't expect you to put your life on hold for him. But the problem often isn't just the man, it's also the mindset. Many women are conditioned to believe that a supportive partner sacrifices everything. Society romanticizes the idea of a woman who stands by her man no matter what, even if it means giving up on her own dreams. The image of the ride or die partner is glorified, but the reality is that it can lead to losing yourself in someone else's life. You deserve more than to be a supporting character in your own story. If you're constantly pushing your dreams aside to prioritize his, you're not being true to yourself. You're not honoring the person you are or the potential you carry. You're not living your fullest life. Your dreams are a part of who you are, and they deserve attention, time, and commitment. Letting go of them for the sake of a relationship diminishes your potential and your happiness. It's important to have honest conversations about goals and dreams in a relationship. You should both know what you're working toward and how you can support each other. Compromises may be necessary, but compromise isn't the same as sacrifice. A compromise means finding a middle ground that respects both partners' ambitions. Sacrifice means one person gives up entirely. In a healthy relationship, neither partner should feel like they've given up on their dreams. It's also crucial to recognize when someone expects you to prioritize their dreams at your own expense. A partner who truly loves you won't ask you to sacrifice your ambitions. He won't make you feel guilty for wanting more or pursuing your passions. He'll celebrate your wins and encourage you to chase your dreams, even if it means making adjustments or facing challenges. If he belittles your goals, dismisses your dreams, or acts as if his ambitions are more important, he's not treating you as an equal partner. A relationship is about building a future together, not carrying someone else's dreams while neglecting your own. You deserve a partner who values your happiness and success just as much as his own. Remember, your dreams are valid. Your goals matter. You have every right to chase after what sets your soul on fire. Don't let love become an excuse for self-abandonment. You can be a supportive partner without losing yourself in the process. You can cheer him on while still pursuing your own passions. You can build a life together while still achieving your own goals. At the end of the day, you owe it to yourself to live a life that feels authentic, fulfilling, and true to who you are. A relationship that requires you to give up your dreams isn't love, it's control. True love uplifts and empowers you. It doesn't hold you back. The right partner will be just as excited about your dreams as you are and will want to see you succeed. Never let love become a reason to abandon your passions. Stand firm in your goals and pursue them relentlessly. The right person will admire your drive, appreciate your ambition, and stand beside you every step of the way. Love should be a source of strength and encouragement, not a reason to give up on yourself. You deserve to live your dreams, and you don't need anyone's permission to chase them. never forget your worth. This is one of the most important lessons a woman can learn, not just in relationships, but in every area of life. Knowing your worth is about understanding who you are, what you deserve, and never settling for anything less. It's about valuing yourself enough to set boundaries, demand respect, and walk away from anything that doesn't align with your self-worth. Far too often, women forget their worth in relationships. It can happen gradually. Maybe you start compromising your needs to keep the peace or accepting behavior you once would never have tolerated. You convince yourself that if you love him enough, he'll treat you better or appreciate you more. You make excuses for his behavior, thinking that being patient or understanding will change him. But the truth is, when you undervalue yourself, you teach others to do the same. Forgetting your worth often comes from a place of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear that you're not good enough. It's easy to convince yourself that you're asking for too much or expecting too much when, in reality, you're just asking for basic respect and love. You start to accept crumbs instead of the whole meal, thinking it's better than nothing. You rationalize mistreatment, telling yourself that no relationship is perfect or that love requires sacrifice. But love isn't about settling or sacrificing your dignity. It's not about shrinking yourself to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. Love should make you feel valued, cherished, and appreciated, not inadequate or unworthy. When you forget your worth, you open the door for others to walk all over you. You find yourself bending over backward to please a man who doesn't respect you, holding on to a relationship that's draining your happiness. It's heartbreaking to see women stay in relationships where they're not valued. They settle for partners who mistreat them, disrespect them, or take them for granted because they believe that's the best they can get. They stay with men who don't support their dreams, who don't listen to them, or who make them feel small. But the reality is, you teach people how to treat you by what you accept. If you tolerate disrespect, neglect, or dishonesty, you're silently saying it's okay. Knowing your worth means setting standards and refusing to compromise on them. It means understanding that you deserve a partner who loves you the way you need to be loved, who respects you, and who values you. It's about recognizing that you bring value to the table. You are a woman of substance, strength, and beauty, and you deserve someone who sees that. It's also about understanding that you don't need a relationship to feel complete. You are whole and worthy on your own. A man doesn't define your value. Your worth isn't tied to his approval or affection. You are enough just as you are. A healthy relationship adds to your life. It doesn't validate it. The right partner will appreciate you without you having to shrink yourself, compromise your values, or beg for respect. Self-worth is about setting boundaries and enforcing them. It's about saying, I deserve to be treated with kindness, honesty, and respect, and I won't accept anything less. It's about understanding that love isn't supposed to hurt, diminish, or break you down. Real love lifts you up, brings out the best in you, and helps you grow. When you truly know your worth, you become unshakable. You stop settling for half-hearted love, inconsistent behavior, and disrespect. You attract people who appreciate your value because you've set the standard. You refuse to waste time on relationships that don't serve you or add joy to your life. You stop compromising your happiness just to keep a relationship alive. But knowing your worth isn't just about relationships. It's about valuing yourself in every aspect of life, at work, with friends, and in your personal goals. It's about believing you deserve happiness, success, and fulfillment. It's about knowing that your voice matters and your dreams are important. When you carry yourself with confidence and respect, others have no choice but to recognize it. You deserve a love that makes you feel seen, heard, and cherished. You deserve respect, honesty, and loyalty. You deserve to be with someone who encourages your growth and celebrates your successes. But first, you need to believe that for yourself. You need to set the standard for how you're treated by valuing yourself first. Never let anyone make you feel less than you are. Never settle for less than you deserve. Never forget your worth. It's the foundation for a healthy, happy, and fulfilling life. When you know your worth, you stop chasing people who aren't for you. You stop holding on to toxic relationships and start welcoming love that's genuine, uplifting, and respectful. At the end of the day, the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. If you don't value yourself, no one else will. When you know your worth, you protect your peace, demand respect, and walk away from anything that doesn't align with your values. You become the best version of yourself, and that attracts the right people into your life. So, remember who you are. Know your worth. Stand firm in it. Never forget that you deserve to be loved, respected, and valued without conditions, without compromises, and without question.